Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Awakening Heart Community of Mindful Living here at Dallas Meditation Center. I hope that you've had a wonderful Sunday, and I'm really happy to be here with you tonight. And you're looking at our altar at the center. That's a live view of the altar. I hope you enjoy, even though we haven't been able to be there together for quite a while. And unfortunately, now you'll get to see me. So I'm Cornell, and I welcome you here tonight. And if you're here live with us, welcome. And know that you can just sit back and enjoy for the next hour or so. And then we will invite you over to Zoom, where you can share in Dharma discussion, or you can ask our special guest questions. And if you are finding us on YouTube at a later time, welcome to you as well. And know that you can join us here anytime on YouTube and watch, or you can join us live every Sunday, and then on Facebook multiple times per week at noon, and then in the evenings on Zoom. You can go to our website and find out about all of those. But tonight, welcome. And I'm Cornell. Joining me tonight, co-facilitating, will be Lisa and Bobby. We will be led with a guided meditation by Jennifer. And our very special guest tonight, who we haven't seen for a while in person, and well, we'll see her on the screen tonight, is Galen Godwin, the abbot of the Houston Zen Center. And so special to have her with us here tonight. So let's begin with 3 sounds of the bell.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. And now we'll read our opening affirmation to kind of get things started tonight. If you know the words, please feel free to read them along, or just feel free to listen. Noble community, we gather here now to honor the way of peace and nonviolence, the way of wisdom and compassion, the way of joy and beauty. In solidarity with one another, with all humanity, and with all life on earth. Friends on the path, we gather here now to deepen our solidity like a mountain and to renew our freshness like a flower. Through mindful sitting and walking, mindful singing and breathing, and mindful speaking and listening. Family of awakening, we gather here now to celebrate the one infinite light that shines through many religions and many cultures, to cultivate the wisdom of our many teachers, both ancestral and contemporary, and to affirm the capacity within ourselves and all persons of every race, gender, orientation, and tradition to realize full and complete enlightenment. And now I think we turn it over to Bobby.
Hello, everyone. So happy that we could all gather here tonight. It's lovely to know that we are all together, and it's a little bit sad that we can't actually see one another and be in the same space. But just as a reminder that we are connected, deeply connected, I thought I would sing the little song. I thought I would sing the little song called "We Are All the Leaves of One Tree." And that is my husband's phone, so I need to go get him or take the phone to him.
The bell of mindfulness.
Yes, and while Bobby's doing that, I would like to welcome those people who have checked in the chat window. And I welcome you to do that on YouTube, and we'll read your names because it's nice to know there's someone on the other end when we're doing this part. So welcome to John, bowing in from Plano. Welcome, James. Michael bows to all. Catherine, bowing in, grateful for our group practice. Cheryl says namaste. Tai Z says Tai Z, and Tai Z to you too, Tai Z. Good to see you here. Julie is bowing in from the treetop in Addison. Julie climbing trees today. And Tatum Chloe and says bowing in. And Christy is here. Hi, everyone. She and Ella went on a walk, and now they're tuning in from the car. We'll drive carefully. And I think Bobby is ready again. I don't see her camera, but I'm going to spotlight her. So welcome again, everyone. And you can start, Bobby. I'll get you spotlighted in a bit.
Okay. Well, welcome to the joys of Zoom and YouTube. Being live at home is very different from being live at the meditation center. So I was about to sing to you the We Are All the Leaves of One Tree song. If you remember it and you feel comfortable singing wherever you are, then please join in. We are all the leaves of one tree. We are all the leaves of one tree. The time has come for all of us to live as one. We are all the leaves of one tree. We are all the waves of one sea. We are all the waves of one sea. The time has come for all of us to live as one. We are all the waves of one sea. We are all the stars of one sky. We are all the stars of one sky. The time has come for all of us to live as one. We are all the stars of one sky. We are all the leaves of one tree. We are all the waves of one sea. The time has come for all of us to live as one. We are all the stars of one sky. I hope you sang with me. I'm imagining that you did. I'm pretending that I hear you. I think I turn the program back over to Cornell now.
Well, hello again. I'll give a few more names of who's checked in. Hello, Jen, bowing in. Glad to join us all. Billy says hi. Neil is bowing in, and Paula bows to everyone. And I don't know if Bobby, if you'll be leading us in the contemplation before meditation, and then we'll have a guided meditation with Jennifer.
Okay. Contemplation before meditation. The Sangha is invited to go back to our breathing so that our collective energy of mindfulness brings us together as an organism, going as a river with no more separation. Let the whole Sangha breathe as one body, generate peace as one body, be free as one body. Let us liberate ourselves from the delusions of the inferiority complex, the superiority complex, and the equality complex.
Dear ones, take a moment to create your meditation area. If you want to take a moment to light a candle, or you can just gently gaze into the beautiful altar that we have on the screen, and get yourself comfortable on your cushion or your chair, and allow yourself to unplug from all the external sensory inputs. And now we move inward, taking a little brain break. So tonight's meditation is going to be just sort of a sweet, simple, gently guided meditation to prepare us for the lovely talk ahead. So finding your comfortable position now, snuggling in, and just allow yourself to begin to settle. That's one nice thing to start to do is start to notice how easily you can drop into settling. And one of the ways that we can do that is just to begin to bring your attention right away to the bottom of your feet. Just bring your attention down and notice where your feet is making contact with the floor, the earth beneath you. Just notice where there's some pressure with your feet as they contact the earth. And notice that contact. Take a few breaths noticing that. And then let your mind drift up now to where your body is connecting with the cushion or the chair. Feel that contact, feel that sense of gravity right there in that spot, in that area where you're connecting. And breathe with that for a few breaths. And any time during this meditation or any meditation, when you've discovered that your mind has wandered, you can bring your attention right back to this area, right where your body meets the cushion or the chair, because there seems to be a sense of a bit of heaviness there, of gravity. We can feel it. Or also your feet. And so it can be like a magnet drawing you back when your mind has drifted. Now scanning up, notice that your shoulders are over your hips. Your shoulders are gently reaching down. Nothing to hold on to here. And your back is straight. And the crown of your head is reaching up. And your chin is slightly tucked. breathing with this for a few breaths. Just the sense of having arrived. You've entered. Now place both hands on your stomach, on your belly, and take a nice deep inhale all the way down to the belly and hold it there for a second, and then gently exhale. So allow yourself to take another nice big deep breath all the way into your belly. Fill up your belly, let it soften and fill out like a balloon. Hold it and then release and exhale. Nice long exhale here. And then one more time. Nice deep belly, really filling up, then holding it and releasing. And now bringing your breath, just letting it just breathe however it wants to breathe. And leave one hand on your belly and bring the other one to your chest. And begin to feel just that gentle rise and fall of your whole body. Just the gentle rise and fall. As if you were floating on some water with gentle waves. You can feel your whole torso engaged. The breath enters in and your chest goes out and your belly gets soft, and then it moves gently back towards your tailbone, your backbone. So just enjoy breathing like that, gently waving, and then keep breathing like that. And when you're ready to let your hands drop just naturally into a comfortable position, you can do that. If you find that you have a busy brain and you're having a lot of thoughts, try to imagine that your thoughts are like a gentle rain falling into a warm body of water, a warm pond, dissipating as it moves into that warm water. Visualize that as you settle. You don't have to try too hard, just gently rocking with the waves, the water, letting the thoughts of rain hit the warm water and begin to dissipate. See if maybe the water in your own body can begin to be the same as the water in your imagination. All water rocking back and forth. Letting the warm water flow freely through your body, from head all the way down to the toes. And when your mind wanders, you can bring it right back to the place where your body hits the cushion and feel that, or feel the bottom of your feet on the ground. And then return to breathing in and breathing out as waves, gentle one wave after the next. Perhaps now the sentiment in your water in your body is settling. The water is beginning to flow more clearly. Warm water, soft waves. Beautiful. And now please enjoy the chanting of the Brahmaviharas. Let it enter into your calm, settled pond.
May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful. May all beings be at peace. Brahmavihara Maitri, Brahmavihara Karuna, Brahmavihara Mudita, Brahmavihara Upeksha. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. May all beings be joyful. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be at peace.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that lovely meditation. I really enjoyed that. Kind of a moment to relax my mind and go to my pond. I really appreciate that. So now we'll take the time to recite the Refuge Chant, where we recite that we take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. So please follow along if you know the chant. We take refuge in the Buddha, the awakening heart of infinite light, that which shows us the way in this life. We take refuge in the Dharma, the awakening path of infinite light, the way of understanding and of love. We take refuge in the Sangha, the awakening community of infinite light, those who live in harmony and awareness. And I think Bobby's going to introduce our speaker today.
Yes, I am. I'm so happy to be able to do that. Galen Godwin has been a friend of the Meditation Center, excuse me, for a long time. I think it started during the time when Hanh was the director, and I know that he visited the Zen Center in Houston a few times. So we're always glad when she can visit with us. Galen is as Cornell said, she's the abbot of the Houston Zen Center, and and she's also, I'm so sorry, she's also fairly recently been given the title and the responsibilities of the Sichuan, being the director of the International Division of the Soto Zen North America Division. I had to write it down because that's a lot to remember. I also read on her website that she has a very interesting Dharma name, and I'm not going to say it right, I know, but maybe Galen will say it for us, but to me it looks like Setsuan Kanji, and it means snow hermitage builds love. I know that she does her best to build love. She does a prison ministry, which is suspended now, of course, and she engages in a lot of social activity. So we're just so happy that you can be here tonight, Galen. Thank you so much. We look forward to hearing you.
Well, thank you so much, Bobby, and it's so great to see you. And thank you for that lovely song, the one that you sang before the guided meditation. It returned into my mind while we were meditating. It was a good demonstration of how the mind works. And thank you, Jennifer, for that really lovely and settling meditation. And thank you, Cornell, for hosting and for making everything possible. You get to be at the center. And I also want to say thank you to Brother Ji Singh, who is still a good friend of mine. And I can also still hear his beautiful voice singing those songs. So I loved visiting, and everyone here in the Houston Zen group loved him. He brought such joy when he came. So I'm very happy to be here. And what I'd like to talk with you about tonight is New Year's resolutions, just taking the opportunity in the new year to reset. And we're kind of lucky because the new year lasts for a while. We have our Gregorian calendar new year that happened, and then we have the Chinese New Year, which doesn't actually start for a few more weeks. I think it's on February 12th. So we have a lot of time to explore and refine and play with our New Year's resolutions. And my resolutions, as they took shape, I really like making New Year's resolutions. There's something about the power of intention and making statements that I appreciate without holding too rigidly or judgmentally to assessing how they develop, but just making a statement. You know, one can wish to be more kind and still be soft and kind to oneself, watching how that plays out. But my New Year's resolutions are to see clearly, to do no harm, and to pacify the mind. There's a great teacher, not a Buddhist teacher, but she was friends with Suzuki Roshi actually a long time ago, Charlotte Selver, and she said, if you have these two things, the willingness to change and the acceptance of everything as it comes, you will have all you need to work with. If you have these two things, the willingness to change and the acceptance of everything as it comes, you will have all you need to work with. So Charlotte was an amazing teacher, kind of body work, who lived to be 103. So her life was one of work in the joyous sense of work. She considered her practice and her teaching and her life just work, meaning things were changing and she was changing with them and watching them change. And today, mostly what I want to talk about is the third of my 3 resolutions, the pacification of the mind, how to pacify the mind. Because the way our minds work, we tend to let it operate on automatic a lot. And we let it, I'm maybe not you, but I watch myself operate on automatic, judgmental mind, judgmental in the neutral sense, just automatic behavior. It's very efficient for our minds. And having a more pacified mind allows that automatic activation to have a little more chance of carefulness, care, and kindness. So for example, I read recently that a judge in, where was he? Right now, I don't remember. It was Virginia or Mississippi. A judge was hearing cases in a courtroom, and he had already arranged his courtroom the way he liked, but he had to meet hear cases in a different courtroom. So he instructed the bailiffs to remove all the portraits from around the wall. And because all the portraits were portraits of previous judges going back quite a long time in that courtroom, and they happened to be, no surprise, portraits of entirely white men. And so he had them taken down, and people said, why do you want them taken down? They were good judges. They weren't necessarily bad or racist even, but he felt that just that constant reminder of the authority of the white male figures in the courtroom would stimulate various minds in different ways, and he wanted to just remove that stimulus. I thought that was so wise. So we understand as spiritual practitioners and Buddhists that we cultivate, as we did earlier, we cultivate the Brahmaviharas, we bring those ideas into our minds so that we're gradually changing this ocean of our understanding. And it changes the kind of fish that jump up out of our understanding. So one of the things I associate with this pacification of the mind is balance or harmony. And the Buddha had many, many teachings on how to do this, but one that I'd like to bring up is this idea of balance, the 7 factors of enlightenment. So the Buddha said, to wake up, we have these 7 factors present in a moment of awakening. And moments of awakening can happen all the time. It's not a one-time experience, it's a many-time experience. But in a moment of awakening, these 7 factors are present. Mindfulness, keen investigation of the Dharma, energy, rapture or happiness, calm, concentration, and equanimity. I remember when I first heard of this way of looking at enlightenment long, long time ago, and when I was first practicing, I saw that even when we're aware, if we're investigating our minds, so for instance, if one of us, if we look at our mind and we say, well, that wasn't a very nice thought or word that I just said, or that was not so good, you can look at that as investigation of Dharma. And already that's one of the factors of enlightenment that's present. So for me, notice how these things harmonize with each other. The Buddha is saying that energy and calm are both present. The Buddha is saying that mindfulness and rapture are both present. Equanimity and keen investigation of the dharmas are both present. Concentration or samadhi and energy are both present. One of the things that this points to is how complex our minds are. Our minds aren't a single flavor. Our minds are really like the ocean. Many things are going on. And in order to be balanced, we have an energetic, joyful, calm, equanimous mind. So another quality of the mind that shows is how incredibly powerful it is. And sometimes I think that it's hard for individuals, hard for me sometimes, hard for us to actually admit how powerful this mind is, how powerful our thoughts are in leading us around by the nose, how powerful our reactions are. So our practice, spiritual practice, Buddhist practice, allows us to soften our gaze toward our own minds and realize how strong it is. And when we're doing that, when we're softening our gaze and looking at our minds, we are cultivating keen investigation of the Dharma. This is a real part of our practice. And we need energy to do this. And energy results from calm. Calm can bring about energy. And of course, equanimity is the balance of calm and insight. So in my other two resolutions to see clearly and do no harm, in order to see clearly, we need to, I feel, we need this pacified mind, because seeing clearly is the ultimate goal. It's what the Buddha told us is the ultimate goal. Clearly observe the nature of reality. So now, on the cusp of a new year, we're at the end of 2020 and still kind of hesitating for myself, speaking for myself, very hopeful but hesitating about what's going to happen in 2021. So I had this image of standing on a mountaintop. We're standing on a mountaintop. We turn one way, we look back at 2020, see all the things that happened to us, all the losses that everyone has suffered because of this pandemic, the many, many surprises that happened in the year 2020, looking back over that whole field and array of events that we know of. And then we turn around and we look at 2021. The meaning, we know that we don't know the meaning of 2021. It's still ahead of us. We're still getting ready to march into it. But I would say that we also don't really know the meaning of 2020 yet. We know what we've experienced. We know what we think it means, but it's still going to unfold. And the further we get into 2021, the more we'll learn about what happened in 2020. The meaning is going to change. And we can allow it to change. One of the things that our practice gives us is this flexible mind. And so we don't have to stick to the meanings that we think all of these events indicate. The meanings are going to change. We can watch them change. We can soften. We can help our friends and family watch the meanings change. Now, I want to say that I really love the Chinese calendar of animals, and we're heading into the year of the ox. So the ox, I think it's serendipitous that it's the year of the ox coming up, because the ox is a very, very powerful creature, just like our minds, very powerful. And I wonder how many of you have had experience with big oxen or bulls? Have you been in the same field with a bull, any of you? Have you been at a state fair and walked behind the bulls? I have. I grew up in rural California, so I have a lot of experience with bulls. I guess that's why I like them. They are huge. They're huge. Their heads are huge. Their power is huge. They're also extremely observant, and they're very quick on their feet. Have any of you been in a field and been accidentally charged by a bunch of cows and bulls? I have. When they decide to move toward you, they move very fast. You have no idea what's gotten them attracted or what's gotten them excited, but you better move out of the way. And the Buddha used cowherds and cows a few times in the sutras. The Buddha, our Buddha liked to use whatever was at hand to help people understand. So in his time, he also had lots of cows and bulls around. So I guess that's why it resonates with me, because I grew up with lots of cows and bulls. But the Buddha used them, and he told this great story. He said, he just sat down. Sometimes, often in the sutras, the Buddha responds to a question. Somebody will say, Buddha, such and such has happened. How should I think about this? And he'll give a very clear teaching. But this one, he brought the story up himself. He was in Jetta's Grove in Anapindika's park. The sutras always tell us where he was. And he just brought the question up himself. Excuse me. He wanted to know if everybody knew what the good qualities are that a good cowherd possesses. So he brings up these rhetorical questions. Do you know what the good qualities are of a good cowherd? Somebody who's rearing a herd of cattle. And he said, they have 11 qualities. A good cowherd has knowledge of form, skill and characteristics, knows how to pick out flies' eggs, knows how to dress wounds, knows how to smoke out the sheds, knows the watering place, knows what it is to have refreshed thirst, knows the road, skilled in pastures, milks the cows appropriately and not until dry, and knows how to show respect to the cows. So that's a typical teaching of Shakyamuni Buddha. And then he tells you what he really means when he's pointing at those things. He says the knowledge of form is basically the knowledge of how things are made and how they work. This is our Buddha the scientist. A good cowherd knows what things are made of and how they work. He's interested in how things really work. A good cowherd has skill and characteristics, and that, he says, means he knows what benefits the cows and what happens when negligence happens toward the cows. So basically, understanding our actions and taking responsibility for our actions. The three kind of basic ones: how to pick out flies' eggs, how to dress wounds, and how to smoke out the shed. Shakyamuni says that these are analogies for knowing how to recognize good and harmful states of mind. So picking out the flies' eggs means, for Buddha, an encouragement to know when we're kind of indulging in a harmful state of mind and when we're having a good state of mind, and how to encourage that in ourselves. We haven't lost sight of the knowledge of form and how things work, but we're also very clearly aware of when we're having an unwholesome mind state. We've got powerful minds, and we really need to look at how they work. And he says that knowing how to dress wounds, by that he's saying we know how to guard the mind. We know how to dress the wounds. We know how to guard the mind from greed, hate, and delusion. And knowing how, let's see, the other one, knowing how to smoke out the sheds, he says, means they know, a good cowherd knows how to teach others about cows, knows how to teach others about mental states, like we do when we're together in Sangha. These last three are really beautiful too. The cowherd knows the watering place. That means that you know where to get refreshing water, meaning you know what it tastes like to be in calm states of mind. You know what others need in order to have that good taste of clarity. Number 7, knows what it is to have refreshed thirst, means you deeply know what it means to feel clarity and insight. And to know the road means that you know enough about the road, we know enough about the road to show people the way. To milk the cow appropriately and not until dry means that we take the benefits of our practice, but we leave a little bit behind. We don't just greedily take the benefits of our practice. That's a really subtle one. And the final one, knowing how to show respect to others and to learn from others, means he's referring to the cowherd's willingness to go to others who may know more than he or she does about taking care of cows, and really wants to learn more all the time. As Charlotte Selver said, our life is really continually changing and growing. So that's the way the Buddha taught, giving these nice lists and analogies, lots of lectures. And then sometime later, people used other techniques. And so what I'd like to do now is share my screen and show you another use of the cow imagery, the 10 ox herding pictures. So, you know, about 1,000 years later, when Buddhism was well established in China, great artists used the imagery of searching for an ox as an analogy for how we go about our practice. And I think you'll see as we look at these pictures, that it connects kind of nicely to the cultivating those 7 factors of enlightenment. So I'm going to share my screen. Hope that this is smooth. So here we are at the beginning of practice, searching for the ox. And this means, in our Buddhist analogies, thinking about practice, thinking that our mind is something that we need to get to know better, that we would like to learn how to work with and pacify. But we're searching, we don't know where it is. The poem that comes with, the classic poem that comes with this is, "In search of the bull, in the pasture of the world, I endlessly push aside the tall grasses in search of the ox, following unnamed rivers, lost upon the interpenetrating paths of distant mountains, my strength failing, my vitality exhausted, I cannot find the ox." So you can see he's facing one way, but his feet are going one way, his head is going another. He's searching for awakening, searching for the mind. And now, this is called Discovering the Footprints. It's a little hard to see, but the imagery is that we see footprints of a pacified, clarified mind. We see footprints of enlightenment. Maybe we see other people who have a clarity that we like. Discovery of the footprints. The classic poem is, "Along the riverbank, under the trees, I discover footprints. Even under the fragrant grass, I see his prints. Deep in remote mountains they are found. These traces can no more be hidden than one's nose looking heavenward." So this is cultivating, we could say, investigation of states. We're seeing some traces, we're beginning to investigate. And now we get a glimpse, perceiving the bull. So this is like getting a taste of the water of awakening. We see it, we know it's there. For me, that might entail a little bit of joy, maybe a little bit of what would you say? Again, investigation of states, perhaps a little samadhi or concentration. The poem is, "I hear the song of the nightingale. The sun is warm, the wind is mild. Willows are green along the shore. Here no ox can hide. What artist can draw that massive head, those majestic horns?" Now catching the bull. So the mind is incredibly powerful, or we could say awakening is very powerful. The poem is, "I seize him with a terrific struggle. His great will and power are inexhaustible. He charges to the high plateau far above the cloud mists, or in an impenetrable ravine he stands." I think this is an important imagery in Buddhist practice because, at least for myself, and maybe for a few others, we wouldn't necessarily think of coming to terms with our mind as wrestling with a wild bull, but the Buddha often spoke of it as a struggle this intense. So our minds, when we're floating on them, seem so easygoing and manageable, but when we are in states of distress, it's okay to realize that the mind is like a raging storm or like a really strong bull trying to pull us one way or another. And our practice and our Sangha are the things that strengthen us, give us the energy to work with this situation. So we aren't either shooing the bull away or harming the bull. We're just trying to bring it into relationship with ourselves. Taming the bull. The whip and rope are necessary, the poem says. else he might stray off down some dusty road. Being well trained, he becomes naturally gentle. Then, unfettered, he obeys his master. So this is a kind of harmony that requires energy and calm, equanimity and wisdom to work with this deep relationship. Riding the bull home. This is a very famous image in China and in Chinatown. Little statues of the cowherd riding the bull are everywhere. This is a very famous image, and it's an image used to describe to illustrate our relationship with practice and our relationship with our own mind. We're in harmony, we're playing music, we're singing, rapture. So the poem is, mounting the ox, slowly I return homeward. The voice of my flute intones through the evening. Measuring with hand beats the pulsating harmony, I direct the endless rhythm. Whoever hears this melody will join me. In some stories, some illustrations of this teaching device, it ends here, but in Zen, it keeps going. The bull transcended. Astride the ox, I reach home. I am serene. The ox too can rest. The dawn has come. In blissful repose within my thatched dwelling, I have abandoned the whip and ropes. So equanimity, calm, concentration, all are present. And this is a lovely drawing of emptiness, serenity, oneness, no sense of separateness at all. Oh, I forgot, I should read the poem for this one too. Reaching the source. Too many steps have been taken, returning to the root and the source. Better to have been blind and deaf from the beginning. Dwelling in one's true abode, unconcerned with and without, the river flows tranquilly on and the flowers are red. Now here is the return to society. We don't stay in either this or this. This is the final one, the return to society. With gift bestowing hands, it's often said. Barefooted and naked of breast, I mingle with people of the world. My clothes are ragged and dust laden, and I am ever blissful. I use no magic to extend my life. Now before me, the dead trees become alive. So that teaching device is meant to encourage us in so many ways. It's meant to encourage us in understanding that sometimes it really is a struggle. Sometimes it really is wrestling with something that seems far more powerful than our small self, because it is more powerful than our small self. And yet we eventually end up at peace with our little giant, I shouldn't say little, with the big bull sleeping nearby. So the year of the ox will be arriving soon, and I hope it brings us all much joy and much energy and much equanimity, calm, and investigation of states together to get through this year ahead. Thank you all very much.
So thank you. Okay. Thank you so much, Galen. I just appreciate so much that a couple of the things you spoke about were completely new to me, especially the information about the ox, the bull. And I love that. I love the analogies and the lessons contained in that story. That was wonderful. Thank you so much. So I think now it's time for us to get ready to go and join everybody on Zoom.
Thank you, Bobby.
So everyone, yeah, thank you very much. And I will give just a few announcements before we go over to Zoom. One is it's nice to see so many people over here on YouTube. We've got 20 some of you. It would be great to see 20 some likes on the video. So remember to click that thumb up, please. That is very useful to us and to our center. A few announcements really quick before we move over to Zoom. You'll see the link for the Zoom in the window, in the chat window, and I'd also invite you to share in Dana so that we can support these gatherings, and also make a gift to our teacher tonight. And you can do that at dallasmeditationcenter.com/give, either now, or if you're watching this later, you can do that. Or text the word mindful to the number 44321. And then, since we've not been meeting in person or at the center, we have these gatherings throughout the weeks. But in January, we're also going to have some special events and workshops that will be online, and one that will be a safe distance, social distance walk as well. And so just a couple of those that are coming up on Mindful Mondays through January. We are having a series called January Journeys, and it's about a way to look at, what we may have experienced in 2020 around pandemic or other things in our lives, and to look at those, recognize and see that bowl, not chase it away, but instead how we deal and incorporate that into our lives. And so that's January Journey. We'd love to have you join us for the remaining 2 weeks. And you can go to dallasmeditationcenter.com/journey to see about that. And that is online. You can join from anywhere. And then on January 29th, which is a Friday evening, there will be a luminary walk, a short walk with something for you to read and contemplate. And that will be an outdoor event, socially distanced. And it'll take about 20 minutes or something from 6 to 8 p.m. It's come and go, but we'd like for you to register for that as well. It will be held here in Richardson, and you can, that will be on our website soon. And then on January 30th, there is a workshop called Safe Conversations. And that is given by Michael Ferraro. And that is for couples and individuals. And it's around, exactly as the word said, safe conversations, being able to communicate. You can find that information at dallasmeditationcenter.com/journey. No, sorry, that's the wrong one. dallasmeditationcenter.com/conversation. And hope that you can join for that workshop. And there'll be some others coming up soon that will be on the website. But thank you for sitting with me through through those announcements. And you'll see, I'll ask Lisa if she will give us two sounds of the bell. You will see the candles, the altar on your screen. And then we'll see you over on Zoom. Join us there. You'll find a link in the chat window. Thank you, everyone. And if you're on Zoom already, stay here. Otherwise, hop over to our Zoom link.